Hey, Happy New Year to you all. Welcome to 2022, and we are going to start out with a little bit of Skaven factoids. So, what if you're tired of taking the Lore of Plague every game, and you're tired of taking just the Vermintide Summon, or the Vermintide Summon and Pestilent Breath, which is that wind spell that does okay, or Pestilent Birth, which is the Plague Monk Summon? Well, maybe there might be some other spells for you. So in certain matchups, like the Vampire Counts, I found that recently taking summons can be okay, but can also be a little disappointing, because when you summon something into an area where it's going to be completely surrounded and there's a terror causing unit nearby like Vlad, you can see they get running pretty quick. They weren't around for very long, and it wasn't particularly a useful Winds of Magic cast. Also, usually there's going to be White Kings with Scab Scrates, and they can clear them out pretty quickly. So, if you don't want summons, where, when, why, and how could you ever use any of the other plague spells? Well, particularly in the Greenskin matchup, I can show you two little things. One, the passive of the Lore of Plague can be a little underrated at times if you're going to spam. Now, if you're going to take expensive spells, the Lore of Plague isn't worth it. Come back here. Where did you go? There we go. But it does reduce Vigor by 5%, and also units lose Vigor by running at you, so in a normal game, people will run at you and lose some Vigor, and then you can cast... If you cast, a summon to slow them up in Plague Rash, you'll already reduce their Vigor by quite a lot. So, Plague Rash can be good, and Plague Rash, even though it's not super specific on that, it does imbue... It just says imbues poison, but it doesn't say on melee or not. So we can take normal Night Runners or even Skaven Slave Slingers, and for 4 Winds of Magic, you can give them poison. Another spell we have here, I also have listed, is Wither. It minuses 30 armor from the target, as long as they're in the circle. So, you are going to see that I will wither this area. While there is 2 Clan Rats over here, I think the point still gets across that 70 armor on Stone Trolls is a lot to deal with. These Clan Rat spears are not really getting through, and the Night Runner Slingers who are throwing at them aren't doing a ton of damage. On the other side, you can see much more effective. You only have 40 armor. Those Clan Rat spears can actually get through them, do a lot of damage, and really drag them down. On their side here, their leadership is failing them, but not their health as much. So these guys have taken 1/3 damage. These guys have taken about 2/3. And again, it's not because there's 2 Clan Rats over there. I've tested this before. It's because these guys are already getting a full surround. More Clan Rats wouldn't necessarily mean more attacks. Wither can just be good. As you can see here, at the very end there, the little slingers do have the poison aura around them. They do turn into poison slingers. So, for only 4 Winds of Magic, Blessed with Filth can be nice to give your slingers some poison if you don't already have gutter runners with poison. And reduce your opponent's Vigor. Overcasting, Wither, I think that decreases the armor by 60, and that's even worse for Stone Trolls. I don't know if the Overcast is particularly worth it. Wither is very expensive. 10 Winds of Magic for a basic cast, so it's almost only useful versus Stone Trolls. I'm trying to think of what other heavily armored units the Skaven have to deal with that aren't really infantry, because Poison Globes don't do a whole lot versus Stone Trolls or Monstrous Infantry. So Wither's nice. Maybe in the Bretonnian matchup you could use it for some spears, but I have a different spell I like in the Bretonnian matchup. So, almost never taken, almost never used is Plague, and I think Plague gets a little bit of a bad rap. Plague only costs 11 Winds of Magic, Overcasted costs 16. That's pretty comparable to Purple Sun. Yeah, it's pretty comparable to Purple Sun there. It doesn't move, but that can be kind of nice, because that means you know where it's going to go. It's not going to go into all your units, but usually your units are shit. So we have some Skaven Slave Spears, we have Knights of the Realm, and I'm going to overcast Plague on them. Now let's see how long it actually takes to get its value back. Nice cluster of Knights, and it starts... It's going to appear around 103, 104. So 103 is coming and going. It's much closer to 104 that the thing starts. And the Knights have taken about almost all their health in 5 seconds. Now, some players would argue that maybe you have the reaction time to dodge that sort of thing, and that's true. I mean, a lot of people have reaction time to dodge a lot of things, but the cast time is actually pretty quick, and the damage you need to get out of it is very quick. After 5 seconds, Lord Skrulk has almost 600 value, which is really good. You can delete an entire heavily armored unit there. Same goes for elite infantry, but Poison Globes can take care of them okay. I do feel like globes have been a little overrated recently. They did get nerfed not so long ago. They're still extremely good unit, don't get me wrong, but I think sometimes the answer can just be, well, just globes. And it's like, well, globes take a long time. Sometimes you need to do more. So I'm just curious how long the cast time is. When does the thing appear? Okay, so it looks like they have 9 seconds from being alerted that the spell is even coming to losing an entire unit. So that's pretty good. Is it the best spell in the game? No, I would only use it in situations where there's going to be armored cavalry. I wouldn't hate it in the Empire matchup. I wouldn't hate it in the Bretonnian matchup. High Elves also like to spam armored cavalry at you, the Silver Helms. It could be good paired with a Vermintide summon Vermintide behind the cavalry, lock them in, and plague them. Something like that. So, Plague's okay. I've used it a couple times. It's fine. It's a fine spell. Wither is good mostly against greenskins, and Blessed with Filth I'm actually going to try using more just for the bigger reduction. But anyway, sometimes the Vermintide summon isn't the greatest thing in the world, and you could use the other spells. Or bring the Vermintide summon with, and use these in conjunction. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Happy New Year!